John Styaerts and Peter, A.D. 1538. About this year there were, in Flanders, two cousins, one named Styaerts, the other Peter. These two blooming and God-seeking youths resided with their parents in a village called Martyr in Flanders. And as they were very zealous for God and searched the Holy Scriptures, they soon perceived that the believing and regenerated according to the doctrine of Christ, as a sign of having buried the former sins and risen with Christ, and walking in newness of life, had to receive Christian baptism in the water. And since they were desirous of this, they journeyed to Germany to seek others of their fellow believers. But as they could not find such as suited their wishes, they soon returned to their parents at Flanders, where they earnestly sought the Lord their God, so that they had a good report, doing much good to the poor, and saying, with Zacchaeus, that if they had defrauded anyone, they would restore it fourfold. Luke 19:8. When the blinded papists, who most bitterly hated the light of truth, perceived this, they took these two young lambs out of the houses of their parents at Martyr, and brought them beyond Ghent into a village called Vinderhout, where they most severely imprisoned them in a dungeon. Jeremiah 38:6. Once, when their sister came to bring them some fine shirts, they told her that they could not keep them from the worms, which were in their food eating it, and in their clothes and shirts on their bodies. They further said, "Here is a Bible, the contents of which, as well as the cause of our bonds, will yet come to light after our death." The aforesaid John Styaerts was once released from prison on account of sickness, and, as is thought, could easily have obtained his liberty, but he voluntarily returned to prison, desiring gladly to die with his dear brother, for the name of Jesus. Thus, after a certain time, they were led to the slaughter. Peter, who came forth first to die, casting his eyes up to heaven, boldly called out to John Styaerts, "Fight valiantly, my dear brother, for I see heaven open before us." Acts 7:56. They were together put to death with the sword at Vinderhout. Thus these young branches in the court of the Lord, Jeremiah 17:8, Psalm 1:3, were also devoured by the awful beast which rose up out of the sea, Revelation 13:1. But they had no power over their immortal souls, which escaped from them unto God, where they shall forever live in unspeakable joy. When their parents came from Martyr to Vinderhout and inquired for their children, the villagers told them that they had already been executed with the sword, and thus they were deprived of their children by these tyrants.